you're someone that's struggling to build muscle, then here are the top 3 reasons why that may be the case. Yes guys, welcome back to my channel, and today in this video I'm going to be talking about the 3 reasons why you're struggling to build the muscle. And so to not waste your time, let's get right into the video. So the first reason why you're struggling to build the muscle is because your form is trash. Because when trying to build muscle, right, building muscle is not just about progressively overloading, it's also training with the proper form. And there are many reasons why you should be training with proper form, and which I'm going to list out a few. And the reason, and your form doesn't just, lifting with the proper form doesn't just help you to utilize the muscles more effectively, but it also prevents you from ego lifting, and it helps prevent injuries occurring in the long run. So make sure you're lifting with proper form, with good technique, and to allow your muscles to fully get utilized within the muscle breakdown. And you need to make sure you're lifting with proper form. Because how do you expect yourself to have a full muscle connection if you're someone that's not lifting with good form? Because say for example, let's say you're doing hack squat, right? And let's say if you're going halfway down and all the way up, how do you expect your legs to get fully activated if you're going halfway down, but you're not going all the way down and then all the way back up? For example, because the way you should be doing your hack squat, for example, is to make sure you go all the way down and then all the way back up. Same goes with the squat. If you're squatting, let's say with a barbell like this, then you shouldn't go halfway down. You should go all the way down until your hamstrings touches your calves, and then all the way back up with the slow reps. Now I'm not saying you should go from top to down in 3 seconds. No, I'm not saying to control the reps for 3 seconds, because I feel like that's a bit too much. But at least control it. At least lift a weight that you can control, and lift with the correct form for your muscles to have a full connection. And now the second reason why you're struggling to build muscle for after 6 months of lifting is simply because you're not training with high intensity, as well as you're not progressively overloading. You see, if you're lifting with the same weight in a few sessions, your body starts to adapt. Your body will start to adapt to it, and so it's not going to give any further, and it's meaning it's not going to be giving a greater or better signal for it to grow. And in order for your muscles to get a greater signal for it to break down and grow, you simply have to challenge those muscles. And you challenge those muscles by progressively overloading. Now, progressively overloading is the byproduct of you building muscle. You challenge your muscles you challenge yourself to increase the weight. But then, however, if you increase the weight with that correct form, if you manage to do that, then that's the sign of you progressively overloading. That's the byproduct of you building muscle. So if you're not progressively overloading, not to say that it needs to happen every single week. Again, it can happen, at least not forever. But if you're progressively overloading with the proper form, like I said, from the first reason, then you're building muscle. But however, if you're not progressively overloading with good intensity, meaning with high intensity, where your last rep, where you struggle to do that last rep, and if you're training to failure within some of your, not all of your sets, I'm not going to say all of your sets because I feel like that's a bit too much. For at least 2 of your sets, if you're not training your sets to failure in at least 2 of your sets per exercise, then you won't be able to, you'll struggle to build muscle. And if you don't progress at least every week, not at least every single week, for minimum every week, then you're simply not going to build muscle. You're simply going to be struggling to build muscle. So make sure you train with high intensity and with progressively overload. High intensity, again, meaning your reps, your last 1 to 2 reps, you're struggling to simply pull that weight up. You know, training either close to failure or to failure in at least 2 of your sets per exercise. So make sure you're training with a high intensity and with progressive overload over time. Now, the third and final reason why you may be struggling to, why you're actually struggling to build muscle actually, is because your nutrition is trash. Your diet is crap. First meal, you're having 2 protein bars with a protein shake, and in the second meal you're having chicken wings, and then the next meal you're having, I don't know, another protein bar. And that's not a good type of way, that's not a good type of diet for you guys to have. It's not a good way to fuel your workouts. So instead, eat nutrient dense whole foods 80 to 90% of the time, whereas the remainder 10 to 20% you can eat whatever you like. You can eat all of those junk, you know, the protein bars, all of that stuff, because people nowadays think that protein bars are healthy, and yes, the macros makes it look healthy, but when you look at the ingredients, you're simply eating stuff that contains emulsifiers, stabilizers, additives, seed oils, sugar, all of these things. The same goes with some of the protein shakes. I'm not going to say all of them, but there are some protein shakes out there I feel like that are not really that good to have. And even if they were good, then you still shouldn't be consuming them a lot. You should only have them in moderation, and only have it if you want to simply use that to reach your protein goal. And are you also consuming your fruits and vegetables? You know, hydration, is the hydration on point? Are you eating enough protein every single day? Because protein is the number 1 macronutrient that your body needs. That is one of the most important macronutrients that you need for your muscles to repair. You know, for the amino acids to break down, for the muscle protein synthesis, you know, for muscle repair and for recovery. You know, all of these things, and especially your carbs, your fats, and you know, all of these nutrient-dense foods, your fruits, veg, animal protein, you know, fats, avocado, dark chocolate, all of these things, because these will help you fuel your performance properly, and it will also help you recover better, and you know, all of these other benefits, which a few I already listed out already. And so yeah, ask yourself these 3 questions. Is your form, are you lifting with good form? Are you progressively overloading? Are you eating a clean whole diet at least 80% of the time? And if the answer to all of these is no, then you simply need to improve on those, and you need to simply fix it if you're serious about building muscle, if you're serious about having a about building your amazing best physique. And if you find this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like, comment, share all of this good stuff, and I'll see you a lot in the next video.